In the quiet, candlelit glow of an 1801 evening, a man named Thomas Young unknowingly cracked open the veil of reality. There were no grand machines, no glowing screens, just shadows, slits, and light. And yet, what he uncovered would ripple through centuries. At the heart of his experiment was a simple question that had haunted minds since Newton's age. What is light? Is it a stream of tiny particles darting like arrows through space? Or is it a wave, flowing and bending like ripples across a pond? Young's answer was poetic in its simplicity. He allowed light to pass through two narrow slits and fall onto a screen. What should have been two clean lines, two marks of certainty, became something else entirely. A series of light and dark bands emerged, like a ghostly barcode etched in luminous ink. It was as if light had passed through both slits at once, interfering with itself, revealing its wave-like nature. But there was something more, something eerie and unspoken. It was the suggestion that nature does not reveal herself plainly. She dances cloaked in illusion, showing only what we expect to see. Young had unknowingly tapped into a riddle far greater than light. He had brushed against the fabric of reality itself. Looking back now, that humble experiment feels less like science and more like a whisper from the cosmos, a clue placed gently into human hands. We often think revolutions begin with thunder, but sometimes they begin in silence, with a flickering flame, two slits, and a man willing to ask the impossible. What Young glimpsed in that moment was the first crack in the old world's armor. The realization that reality is not fixed, not final. It waits, suspended in potential, until we choose to look. And in looking, we change everything. Imagine this. A single particle, smaller than the eye can see, is fired toward a screen. It must choose a path, left or right, this slit or that. But it doesn't. It chooses both. Until, that is, we dare to look. The moment a measuring device observes which path it takes, the magic shatters. The particle, once a wave of endless possibility, collapses into certainty. Just one slit, one outcome, one version of reality. Why? Because it was watched. This is not a trick. It's one of the most unsettling revelations of quantum physics, that reality does not unfold in isolation. It responds, it adapts, and most mysteriously of all, it waits for the observer. The mere act of looking, of paying attention, forces the universe to make up its mind. Suddenly, the cold, detached world of matter and motion becomes intimate, even alive. The observer, the human consciousness, plays a role not as spectator, but as participant, as creator. What does this mean for us? That the universe is not a finished film we passively watch, but a living script we co-write. The tiniest particles obey not some fixed law, but respond to awareness itself. And in that awareness lies something profound, our power. When you shift your gaze, reality shifts with it. When you focus, the world focuses back. The double-slit experiment didn't just reveal a quirk of physics. It uncovered a secret language between mind and matter. A language where attention is the pen and reality the page. In a world that once seemed indifferent, quantum mechanics reminds us that our presence matters, that we matter. And perhaps, in the grandest mystery of all, the universe has always been waiting for you to notice. In the hidden theater of the quantum world, particles are not what they seem. We imagine them as tiny marbles, solid, definite, predictable. But when we aren't looking, they become something else entirely, waves of possibility, spread out across space like whispers of what could be. This strange duality is at the heart of the double-slit experiment. Fire a single photon or electron through two slits, and you'd expect it to go through one or the other. Yet the screen tells a different story. What appears is not two simple dots, but a pattern of interference, as if the particle traveled both paths at once, dancing with itself, weaving bright and dark bands like echoes of a ghost. The particle behaves like a wave, existing in a hazy in-between, a realm of pure potential. It's only when we place a detector, only when we insist on knowing, that the wave collapses and the interference vanishes. The particle chooses a single path, as though our curiosity forces it into form. What hides behind this curtain of behavior? A secret. That matter itself may not be the bedrock of existence. Instead, it is possibility that reigns, fluid, shifting, undefined. Until we enter the scene, we are not watching a performance from afar. We are stepping on stage and rewriting the script with every glance. This mysterious dance between particle and wave, certainty and possibility, is not just physics, it is poetry. It's a reminder that reality wears a mask, and it slips only when we ask the right questions. What else, we must wonder, is behaving like a wave while we assume it's a particle? What else is possible, waiting quietly in the shadows of our attention, until we dare to see it differently? Perhaps reality has always been more fluid than we ever dreamed. What if the most powerful force in the universe isn't gravity or time, but attention? In the world of quantum mechanics, this isn't just poetic musing. It's a scientific truth. The double-slit experiment, that haunting mystery of physics, shows us that a particle behaves like a wave, a sea of infinite possibilities, until we observe it. Then, and only then, it solidifies into one outcome, one reality. And if that's true for particles, could it also be true for life? Could your focus, the quiet, constant gaze of your consciousness, be shaping the world around you more than you know? Think about it. When you dwell on fear, worry, or failure, life seems to echo back those same patterns. But when you shift your attention toward hope, creation, and possibility, doors begin to open. It's not superstition, it's resonance. Your mind, it turns out, is not just a witness to the world. It is a sculptor, a co-creator. Every thought, every intention sends ripples through the quantum field, collapsing one of infinite paths into the one you walk. Consciousness becomes the brush, reality the canvas. The more you believe this is random, the more life feels out of control. But the more you feel the connection, that your mind and the universe are in quiet conversation, the more empowered you become. In the silence between thought and form, something profound is happening. You're not just in the universe. The universe is also in you, responding, shifting, unfolding. This is the forgotten wisdom of mystics and the newest revelation of physics, that reality listens. That attention is not passive. It is a force. And when you realize this, truly feel it, you begin to see your life not as something happening to you, but something happening through you. And that changes everything. Beneath all things, beneath matter, motion, even time itself, lies something astonishing, a sea of pure potential known as the quantum vacuum. It is not empty. It is not still. It hums with a silent, unseen energy from which all existence emerges. When scientists peered deeper than atoms, deeper than quarks and the mysterious Higgs boson, they did not find nothing. They found everything, a field that gives rise to particles, to mass, to life. It is the womb of the universe, the birthplace of stars and thoughts alike. And here's the part that sends a shiver down the spine. It is also you. Your body, your cells, your breath, they're not separate from this field, but formed by it. You're not merely in the universe. You are the universe, expressing itself briefly in human form. Mystics once called it the divine spark. Scientists call it zero-point energy. But whether by poetry or physics, the truth remains. Everything that exists rises from this same invisible ocean. You, me, galaxies, light, it is all a pattern within the vacuum, shaped by interaction, consciousness, and intention. And that vacuum? It holds not just massless energy, but infinite possibility. This is not metaphor. It is measurable, testable, real. And if everything arises from it, then nothing is ever truly separate. There is no true emptiness, no true isolation. Even in the darkest spaces, the vacuum pulses with potential. It is in your atoms. It is in your thoughts. It is perhaps the face of what some have called God, not a figure in the clouds, but a presence in everything. To feel this is to awaken. To know this is to never be alone. For you were born not from matter, but from the infinite, and to the infinite you still belong. Deep within you, beyond your name, your thoughts, and the ever-changing tides of emotion, there is something eternal, a quiet ember of the infinite, a divine spark. It is not metaphor. It is not myth. It is the very essence of what you are, drawn directly from the quantum vacuum, that boundless field of potential that gives birth to stars and souls alike. Scientists call it primordial energy. Mystics call it spirit. But both speak of the same truth, that each living being carries within them a signature of the all, a sliver of the source. This spark is not earned. It is not granted by merit or withheld by flaw. It simply is, always. It pulses beneath your skin, guiding, waiting, gently urging you to remember. To remember that you are not just a person moving through space. You are space becoming a person. Enlightenment is not about rising above the world, but sinking deeply into it, realizing the world is already within you. When you feel this, truly feel it, not as an idea, but as a knowing, you begin to live differently. Fear loses its grip. Control becomes unnecessary. Life becomes a dance with something greater. The ego, once loud and needy, falls quiet. You no longer act alone. You act with the all. You speak, move, and choose from that sacred center. This is not passive surrender. It is active alignment. You still dream. You still strive. But now, you're no longer driven by lack. You're pulled by purpose. The divine spark is your compass. And when you trust it, even the most chaotic storm begins to make sense. For the light you seek has never been out there. It has always been inside you, burning, waiting, remembering. The greatest illusion we've ever believed is that we are separate from each other, from nature, from the cosmos. But the truth, whispered by ancient mystics and now confirmed by quantum science, is far more profound. There is no real division. At the smallest scale of existence, all things are connected by invisible threads of energy, rippling through the quantum vacuum. The same field that births galaxies and breathes life into cells. When you hurt another, you do not just harm them, you harm yourself. Because at the deepest level, they are you. The wars we wage, the suffering we justify, the cruelty we excuse, all stem from forgetting this truth, from believing in lines that don't exist. Quantum entanglement proves that even when particles are separated by vast distances, they remain mysteriously linked. One moves, the other mirrors. What happens to one affects the other instantly. The same is true for us. Though we wear different faces and walk different paths, we are echoes of the same source, dreaming different dreams within the same field of being. When we embrace this, something shifts. Compassion deepens. Ego softens. We no longer see strangers. We see reflections. This is the end of separation and the beginning of unity, not as a philosophy, but as a felt experience. You are not alone in your pain, your joy, or your journey. You never were. To awaken is to realize that the universe is not a collection of isolated parts. It is one great living organism, and you are a vital thread in its fabric. And when enough of us remember this, when we feel the truth that one is all and all is one, the world will no longer be something we survive. It will become something we finally, truly share. One day, children will sit in classrooms and learn what mystics once whispered in shadows and scientists now prove in labs. That reality is not solid, not fixed, not even separate from us. They will learn that attention creates form, that consciousness shapes the unfolding of time and matter, and that beneath all things lies an eternal field of energy, the quantum vacuum, from which everything emerges. They will not be told this as metaphor, but as fact. And when they do, they will look back at us, their ancestors, with a strange mix of awe and sorrow. For we walked among miracles and called them mundane. We touched the fabric of the infinite and named it coincidence. But the shift has already begun. The old paradigm of cold, detached science on one side and mystical wonder on the other is unraveling. In its place grows a new vision, one where quantum physics and spiritual wisdom speak the same language, where observer and creator are one and the same. This is more than science. It is remembrance, a return to truths we once knew but buried beneath dogma and fear. That we are not powerless, not alone, not accidental. That the divine spark within us is not fantasy, but the fingerprint of the cosmos itself. Yes, the resistance is fierce. Paradigms don't fall quietly. But as Max Planck said, science advances one funeral at a time. And so it will. The time will come when we will teach our children not only how to measure the world, but how to shape it. Not only how to think, but how to feel the unity beneath it all. And when that day arrives, humanity will not just evolve. It will remember what it was always meant to be: conscious, connected, and free. All 8 ideas weave a single profound truth. Reality is not something that happens to us. It is something that unfolds through us. From the flickering candle of Young's experiment to the infinite depths of the quantum vacuum, we are not mere observers, but active participants in the dance of existence. Consciousness shapes matter, attention crafts outcomes, and the divine spark within connects us to everything that is. The illusion of separation fades as science and spirit converge, reminding us that the universe is not out there, it is within us. And when we truly remember that, everything begins to change.